Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Taurus, February 28, 2023. Mercury in your communications sector is a generally strong influence for learning and connecting, but it's best not to skip steps today. Aim to be thorough with those things that require your full attention. Ultimately, you'll feel more accomplished if you pay extra attention to details or duties you've ignored. You may be giving others mixed signals as part of you is living in the brain, and the other part is trying to tune into your intuition. Responses can be tentative. However, it's a great time to play with ideas, whether or not they lead somewhere important. Life is moving a mile a minute and you're loving the speed. This is because all of our planets in our solar system are presently direct in the skies. Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto are all combining their strength and synergy to allow your life to proceed at breakneck speed. Now is a pivotal period to know what you'd like to manifest in your love life and put yourself out there to make it happen. Know that if you find a relationship soon and make a commitment, you have built it on a solid foundation. Do you like your job? As an upbeat sign, you tend to make the most of whatever your work life throws your way. But today may feel exceptionally wild since the exalted moon in Taurus conjuncts Uranus in Taurus. You may feel caught off guard throughout your work day since everything will feel out of whack. Some of your colleagues may act differently than usual, technical issues could ensue, or unforeseen problems could pop up. However, this is nothing that you cannot handle as long as you think of it as a fun challenge. While the moon's last visit to your work sector before Venus, the planet of money returns, was always going to make this an important time for paying attention to what your gut is telling you on the job front. A friendly aspect to Pluto in your income sector is also a chance to get your bearings on the income front. This is an encounter the moon has made every 4 weeks since Pluto returned in 2008, but also the last before he leaves. The planetary alignment today gives you the urge to discover something new. Explore the possibilities that present themselves and pay special attention to your emotional responses to those opportunities. The tendency to intellectualize emotions will be increased. Use your ability to think ahead and anticipate how decisions will impact your emotions. It's wise to stay faithful to your healthy diet and exercise program now. Everyone needs to take time off now and then. Without this, you cannot possibly sustain your efforts. Further, you need this time to connect with yourself and to be able to process life's events. If you've never tried meditation, a day like this is excellent for trying this ancient technique. There is great power in this method for introspection, and plenty of information available to help you along. Take steps to bring some peace and quiet into your day. At the same time that Venus is asking you to embrace her first weekend in a fun, playful, romantic and creatively charged part of your chart, she is also asking that you listen to your gut and to your intuition, instincts and imagination on the job front. This is the moon's last visit before Venus returns, 2 months ahead of her return last year. While Venus will be monitoring that life doesn't become all work and no play, she is also encouraging you to download as much information and insight as you can before her return to kick off some stunning weeks across the income, work and career fronts. Since Venus, the planet of love, returned to your romantic sector earlier in the week, the moon has already moved through, and a clash with the dwarf planet Ceres has challenged what you think you want from love. This has been perfect preparation as Venus is using her first weekend here to prepare for her alignment with Jupiter next week, with some of the most romantically charged days of this lucky year for love just around the corner. Our eyes in the sky. This morning, the moon will be transitioning from Taurus to Gemini, which can signal the release of any pent-up aggression or tension. However, it's important to stay vigilant and cautious if you find yourself on the receiving end of someone's temper tantrum. Instead of responding with more aggression, it may be wise to diffuse the situation diplomatically, as things could quickly escalate and lead to some serious consequences. As the day progresses, consider taking a break from any frustrating matters that may be causing you stress. You might try unwinding through a relaxing activity like meditation, which can help calm your mind and bring a sense of inner peace. This way, you can regain your composure and tackle any challenges that may arise with a clear head and a steady hand. Remember to take care of yourself and prioritize your well-being above all else. As the day begins, Mercury in Aquarius will be forming a sextile aspect with Juno in Aries, which can stimulate thoughtful and productive conversations regarding our work or relationship commitments. While this influence may not necessarily be considered romantic in nature, it does promote the value of loyalty and commitment in our relationships. This is an excellent opportunity to discuss the contractual criteria of any agreements or commitments we have made. With the flexibility and open-mindedness of this aspect, we can listen to the other party's concerns objectively and come to a fair and equitable agreement. It's also an ideal time to assert ourselves and ask for what we need and deserve, knowing that doing so will lead to a more mutually beneficial and sustainable agreement. This aspect can also pave the way for long-lasting relationships that are built on a solid foundation of trust and mutual respect. Whether it's a romantic partnership or a professional collaboration, the discussions and negotiations that take place now have the potential to create a strong and enduring bond that will withstand the test of time. However, it's important to remember that all agreements have terms and conditions that may need to be renegotiated or updated in the future. By approaching these discussions with transparency, honesty, and a willingness to compromise, we can ensure that our relationships and commitments remain fair and equitable for the long haul. As the Taurus moon squares off with Saturn in Aquarius, we may find ourselves feeling moody and irritable. Disappointments and restrictive circumstances can trigger our stubborn tendencies, leading us to make our problems everyone else's problem as well. However, it's important to recognize that we may have played a role in creating this situation. Perhaps we procrastinated on important tasks or spoke out of turn to the wrong person, leading to isolation and increased stress levels. To navigate this challenging aspect, it's important to take a step back and assess the situation objectively. If possible, try to put your head down and focus on the work that needs to be done. In some cases, the problem may resolve itself over time, but in other cases, an apology or taking responsibility for our actions may be necessary. It's important to remember that while it can be difficult to admit when we're wrong, doing so can help to restore relationships and build trust. Ultimately, the key to navigating this aspect is to stay grounded and focused on what needs to be done. By taking responsibility for our actions and working to rectify any mistakes, we can move past this challenging time and come out stronger on the other side.